So, JJ McCarthy, your expectations this year are extremely high.
Daniel
right
Jones can
fine for
move
right
his
now.
body. Kenny Pickett's a stone. He's just a rock.
Yeah, it's like believing in Scientology.
They got debated. They've been rebuilding for
Well,
a decade and a half now. They finally are going to give Daniel Jones a weapon. That was
It's
crazy.
an ad, brother.
Disclaimer. The takes on this podcast may not be backed by facts or statistics. In fact, most of the takes on this podcast are backed by feelings, not facts. Unfortunately, podcast equipment is free to purchase by the public. Please enjoy this podcast at your own discretion.
Okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie Beeman. Classic like Dom singing. Blasting like bombs ringing. I guess I define winning.
All right, do you have somebody you want to talk about next?
Oh boy. Who do I want to talk about next? I can keep it short here, but y'all look stupid as hell. JJ McCarthy in the top 5 is wild as hell. Holy Moses. Well, I mean, to start with, I'm just gonna go from the Broncos perspective of things. Like, we had apparently, let me back up. Apparently, the Vikings were, when the Patriots were on the clock, they were trying hard to trade up and grab Drake May, but the Patriots ultimately said it's not enough, so they settled for their second option. And even with it being their second option, JJ McCarthy, they still overpaid in a way for him. Now, to the degree that they were planning on, everyone thought they were going to overpay by jumping up in the top 5. No, but they still had to move to get him because Sean Payton and the Broncos baited him.
What pick was he?
Them. 10. He went 10 to the Vikings. So they basically just made a swap between 10 and 11 with the Jets. So they still had to give up some. What are you watching?
It's an ad, brother. It's an ad. All right, come on.
That was crazy.
It's an ad, brother. I'm trying to get the JJ McCarthy pickup while we're talking about him.
Crazy.
Brother, it's an ad. All right, come on.
I'm zooming on that, dude.
Bro, I don't know what that is. Okay, cookies aren't a thing. I don't have any cookies enabled on my sites. All right, they don't know what I like or what I watch. All right, I want to make that very clear.
You got cucumbers and condoms back there. What? Dude, that would be a banger album name.
Cucumbers and condoms?
Yes, bro. Instead of beer bongs and Bentleys, cucumbers and condoms.
Fuck. Come on. Okay. Hey, fuck is like our snap right here. Let's get back into Minnesota. JJ McCarthy went with the 10th pick overall. There was a video saying that Sean Payton was actively trying to get Minnesota to jump up and take it, which is hilarious.
Yeah, they got you baited, dude.
They did get you baited.
They got you baited. Like, I don't know what to say. I think it's good that they didn't jump up into the top 5, but still, 10 is an overpay. Like, you shouldn't have gone up to 10 to get JJ McCarthy, bro. I really am surprised that there were teams other than, like, well, we weren't, but there were teams that were genuinely interested in him in the first round outside of the Vikings.
Which we don't even know if that's true, because how do you know that everybody else wasn't being a Sean Payton trying to get somebody to jump up for JJ McCarthy? Here's what I will say.
I think it's a bust, if I'm being honest.
Here's what I will say. Kevin O'Connell, he's been known to be great at developing QBs. So that is one thing. And here's the other.
You can't develop a turd.
Okay, but here's the other thing is that I'm going to bring it back to expectations. You have Justin Jefferson, the best wide receiver in the league, catching the ball that you are throwing. You have TJ Hawkinson, which is a top 5 receiving tight end. Top 5 receiving tight end catching the ball. And here, I'm getting it right this time. You have mother effing Aaron Jones as your running back. I'm getting it right this time. So, JJ McCarthy, Your expectations this year are extremely high. Nobody is going into this
gonna play, bro.
Nobody's going into this thinking that you are going to be a bust because you have the best wide receiver catching the ball. You have a stellar running back running the ball, and then you have a great tight end catching and blocking for you.
He still has to win the job from Sam Darnold, though.
But that's what I'm saying. If JJ McCarthy does not exceed expectations, if he does not start, and if JJ McCarthy is not a great QB who proves us all wrong, he is ass. No if and buts about it. You have the best wide receiver in the league catching the ball from you. There's no if and buts. Like, you are straight dog water if you do not succeed this year. That is the expectation that is being set on you for the amount of pieces that you have on offense. That's just how it is. I know their defense isn't great. They took Dallas Turner. One thing I will say about Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell said, fuck a rebuild. What the fuck is a rebuild? We don't do those here. What we're going to do is we're going to get a quarterback and we're going to get Dallas Turner in the first round. So we're just
love that pick
back.
for them.
I love that pick. But hey, shout out to Kevin O'Connell because they are back. There's not this regression period anymore unless JJ McCarthy is buns. Then there will be one. But with the pieces that they have and that Dallas Turner pick, and they got a QB that they love, right? They have said fuck you to a rebuild, and they're going straight back to where they were. Possibly better if Kevin O'Connell is smarter than both of us. He probably is smarter than both of us.
Probably, but he can still be smarter than us and his guy not be as good.
Very true. Very true. But that is the expectation. If JJ McCarthy has a mediocre season with Jay Jettas, he's fucking ass. That's just what it is. I'm sorry to tell you. That's the reality of the situation. When you have the best wide receiver in the league on your team with a top 5 tight end on your team that you're throwing the ball to, you're fucking buns. If you're
so
not
many
a top
fucks
10.
to cut out. Jesus,
I know. I'm
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Come on.
Okay, you're ass. You're ass if you don't play well. This year, you have the pieces to play well and succeed. If you don't, you're ass. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about Minnesota.
Go ahead with your Broncos take.
No, we'll save that for a little bit later. I want to talk about the Giants real quick. What do you think? Win or head scratcher or bust? What do you think?
Nabers?
Yeah, Nabers.
They finally are going to give Daniel Jones a weapon. I mean, there's no Saquon anymore. You're finally giving Daniel Jones a weapon. The O-line is shambles. The defense is meh. I don't know. I feel bad for him. He's going to be, who knows what he's going to be in New York. It might just be another Odell story where you're really good and you're a singular talent and you make highlight plays because your quarterback's buns, and then you end up on another team. Hopefully he can stay healthy, unlike Odell, but I don't know. I think it was a good pick. It was either receiver or O-line, and you couldn't go wrong with either in the spot they were at 6. Joe Alt had just gotten taken. So, I mean, you could have went Olufushanu, but I think Dayball wanted Nabers so that we could have another good Daniel Jones season, because we did the year that they went to the playoffs. They did kind of have a cupcake schedule, but still, I mean, Daniel Jones takes that team to the playoffs. That's huge. And Dayball won a coach of the year and he's deserved of it. But I think that New York hasn't. It's obviously showing that New York hasn't given up on Daniel Jones. We'll see how he returns from the knee injury, but I just hope it's not another Odell story. It was a good pick, but it could be floundered by just not having a guy that can throw the rock. Yeah, it's the Giants. There's not much else to say.
I think here's what I have to say. I think it's a very smart pick for what they had, because they didn't have a QB that they liked. And then I put in quotations on my little sheet here, JJ. They did not like JJ McCarthy. And here's the thing. You've said it before. You have the wide receivers It was the same argument with why the Patriots should have taken Marvin Harrison, right? Because you have a good wide receiver and he develops the quarterback so they can get one next year, and you already have that piece for them. They think that he's going to be a 10-year guy for them. Malik Nabers is. So then you can get a quarterback later on, maybe next year, maybe a year after that, but they have a guy who can impact right now. And you can actually see how Daniel Jones is, because we really don't know if he's truly ass or not, because he was hurt this year. He got hurt this year. So I didn't hate this scenario at all, because I think this is a great way to build for the future. You have your number one. He's going to develop and become better in the NFL. And then, you know what you can have with Daniel Jones? You can have an Alex Smith scenario where you get a QB and you have him come and you have him play under Daniel Jones and learn the game, because Daniel Jones he's been in the league for a long time now. And then you already have your guy kind of like
6 years. He just got off his rookie deal.
Yeah. 6 years. I mean, that's still a long time in the NFL. I mean, not for
but
QBs,
it's not when you've been in New York. You haven't learned anything. Like, he's not a pro.
I know, but it's still like it can still be an Alex Smith scenario, to where you have like a guy.
I mean, sure, you can have a guy who's going to sit under you for a while, but he's no Alex Jones or Alex Smith where he's going to teach anyone anything.
I agree, but I think
he's still learning.
I think it's a great start to a rebuild, is getting Malik Nabers, a guy that you believe in. And he was, like you said, he was going to be
how long are they going to rebuild? They've been rebuilding for a decade and a half now.
They picked Daniel Jones because they thought he was going to take him out of the rebuild. They were wrong, right? So all they need is a quarterback who's actually good and that can take them out of the rebuild. And they have a guy who can go along with whatever quarterback they take next year, or however long they wait for a quarterback. They have a guy here that can immediately go with them.
I'm in round 6, and the Giants still haven't taken an O-lineman. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Maybe Dayball should have just been a QB coach. Maybe should have stayed.
They took a bunch of skill positions this year. They took like corners and safeties. I don't know.
It's either they believe in Daniel Jones, which I think is a terrible thing to believe in. It's like believing in Scientology. Sorry for our Scientology watchers out there, but it's like believing in Scientology. But I think they are rebuilding, and I think this was the first piece to their rebuild. So I like to pick with that in mind, that they're going to get somebody like next draft or maybe 2 or 3 years. They're going to pick up a young QB who they think is going to be their QB for the next 10 years. And I like that.
Yeah, I mean, if your plan is, let's go for a guy next year, Daniel Jones is your guy at this year.
Yeah, 100%.
He's your guy to get you there. Like, you're gonna be bad. Like,
I mean, with how you talk about Kenny Pickett, you would take Daniel Jones over Kenny Pickett.
Hell yeah, I would.
Yeah, see, there you go. He's fine for
Daniel
right now.
Jones can move his body. Kenny Pickett's a stone. He's just a rock.
Yeah, but when he moves his body, he runs for 80 yards and then trips over his own feet.
I'll take it, dude. Are you kidding me?
I'll take the 80 yards.
I'll take the 80 yards. Kenny Pickett's got to wear 2 gloves to catch the ball.
That is true. But yeah, I'm not disappointed with that pick, with the idea that they're going to rebuild.